What is going on, everybody? Welcome to In the Paint Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, your home for your Denver Nuggets postgame show reacting to Nuggets and Grizzlies. Boy, this has become a really tight game here as the Nuggets went into the fourth quarter with a 13-point lead. And this is now a tie basketball game, folks. It is 109 to 109 with about 3 minutes and 50-ish seconds to go in the fourth quarter. So we got a ball game. The Nuggets were 14.5-point favorites coming into this game tonight also. So the home struggles continue. The reason this is a close game, points off of turnovers. The Grizzlies have 20. The Nuggets have 2. As Tim Hardaway just hits a corner 3 to make it 112-109 Denver. But that is an astonishing number from the Denver Nuggets. 20 points off of turnovers for Memphis and just 2 for the Denver Nuggets. So as we watch along here, we will see what if the Nuggets are able to pull this one out. Okay, so Nuggets have the ball. Joker loses it. Another turnover. So many turnovers in this game for the Nuggets. Unbelievable. And the Grizzlies turn it over. Offensive foul. Okay. Good play there by Tim Hardaway Jr. So lots to get into here on the postgame show. Obviously, this is the last game before the All-Star break. So the Nuggets desperately need this win just for so many reasons. The loss the other night to Cleveland was just brutal. They haven't been playing well at home at all. They're 14-11 at home, which is insane. So you want to see the Nuggets go into the All-Star break coming off a win just to get a little bit of momentum heading into the break. So, yeah, these are a big final 2.5 minutes here as Bruce Brown from the corner for 3 misses that, but Joker gets fouled under the basket by Jackson. So the Nuggets are in the bonus. So that Joker's going to go to the free throw line. That was a silly foul on Memphis. Actually, that was Scottie Pippen Jr., excuse me, who just fouled Nikola Jokic there. Joker's got another triple-double, 184th of his career. First free throw is up and good for Nikola Jokic. He's got 21 points tonight on 6 of 13 shooting, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. He also has 8 turnovers. 8. Again, one thing I think it's fair to be critical when in regards to Nikola Jokic is he turns the ball over way too much, but they've got a 5-point lead now. So Joker hits both free throws, 114 to 109. And the Nuggets are trying to close out Memphis. Here's Caldwell Pope, former Nugget. He hits a mid-range jumper. 3-point game. Boy, the Nuggets are just limping into this All-Star break. The Grizzlies are 11 of 14 here in the fourth quarter shooting the ball. The Nuggets are 7 of 13. 11 of 14 in this fourth quarter. Joker misses, gets his own rebound, and puts it back in. Leads back to 5, 116 to 111 with 1:50 to go. That was a big bucket there from Nikola Jokic. Here's Scottie Pippen Jr. with the floater, and that rolls in. Wow. So they're now 12 of 15 shooting here in the fourth quarter are the Memphis Grizzlies. That is insane. Okay, so 3-point game. Joker's got isolation here. Is he going to pull up for 3? He's thinking about it. Nope, he's going to drive in and tries to dump it off. Another turnover. That's the 9th turnover for Nikola Jokic. And Pippen Jr. gets the transition bucket. 1-point game. Wow. This is ugly fourth quarter here for the Nuggets. 116 to 115. 22 to 4 in points off of turnovers in this game for Memphis. Oh, my God. Joker misses, but gets his own rebound and puts it up and in. Okay, so 3-point lead here for the Nuggets with 57 seconds to go in this game. 14.5-point favorites coming into this game. We got a 3-point game. The Grizzlies are one of the most injured teams in the NBA. The Nuggets are too. And they just made a ton of trades at the deadline. So this is like basically a brand new team. Scottie Pippen Jr. throws it up. We got a wedgie, and it's going to be a jump ball. They're showing the replay here of Joker missed shot, gets his own rebound. Second time he's done that in the last couple of possessions, and gets the layup. So really good job there by Joker. Such a good offensive rebounder. Obviously we're going to break down this game and talk about, a little bit about All-Star Weekend. I've actually, I'm anti-All-Star game, but I have some high hopes for this one. Bill Simmons rips Adam Silver. We're going to get into that. He had some really interesting thoughts that I wanted to get into. And David Adelman talked about the Spencer Jones contract negotiations before tonight's game. Kind of a confusing answer from Adelman. So we'll get into all that as Jamal Murray misses the jumper. Okay, 3-point game. There's 20 seconds to go here. Caldwell Pope for 3, misses, and Jamal's got the rebound. And they're going to foul Jamal Murray. Okay. Can Jamal knock him down? The last time we saw this, Jamal in a clutch situation having to knock down free throws, he was unable to do so. So we'll see if Jamal Murray can get these knocked down. Okay. Man, KCP just bricked that shot. All right, so Jamal goes to the line. Here's free throw number 1. It is up and good. So 4-point game, 11.7 seconds to go here. Man, the Nuggets made this way harder on themselves than they had to. And here's the second free throw for Jamal. It's good. And Memphis will call a timeout. 5-point game, 120 to 115. The Nuggets have the lead over the Memphis Grizzlies. Also, another reason this would be a monster win for the Nuggets tonight. The Grizzlies lost tonight. So going into this game, percentage points wise, Houston actually had slid up into the 3 seed. So if the Nuggets can hang on to this lead here, they will go back into the 3 seed, sole possession of the 3 seed heading into the All-Star break. Boy, I've said this before, but the fact that the Nuggets are most likely going to head into the All-Star break with the 3 seed in the Western Conference with all of the injuries they've had is simply remarkable. So, I know they've been on a bit of a rough stretch as of late, but the fact that they were able to tread water during so many injuries, and they've still got guys out. Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon are out. Spencer Jones is out. So this team just needs to get healthy. And I hope that the All-Star break allows some of these guys to get healthy and get going. And we'll see if Spencer Jones is playing for the Nuggets after the All-Star break. I was certain he was going to just a couple days ago, but I'm not so certain now. So we'll get into that once the game here ends. But it was some very interesting comments from David Adelman before the game. A little confusing. So we'll get into to all of that. Cam Johnson, rough night for him, just 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Jamal, okay game, really inefficient, 7 of 18, but he has 21 points, hit all 6 of his free throws. Christian Brown looks much, much better. So that was great to see. Okay, here we go. Final 10 seconds here. And the Nuggets had a foul to give, so they'll foul Scottie Pippen Jr. here. My God, he looks identical to his father. He really does. Okay, so Memphis. Oh, that put Memphis into the bonus. So they will go to the line. Kind of a silly foul there by the Nuggets. Thought they had a foul to give, but they did not. Lawson Lovering from Cheyenne, Wyoming. He's a rookie. Is at the free throw line. He knocks down the first. Lovering. And here comes free throw number 2. Missed that one. And Jamal's got it. And they're going to foul him with 4.9 seconds to go. So that'll just about do it. Even if Jamal were to miss both of these free throws, it's still a 2-possession game with 4.9 seconds to go. Pretty good effort here tonight from Memphis, I got to tell you. For a team that's as injured as they are and as many trades as they made, they sent Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Utah Jazz, one of their best players. No Ja Morant. I mean, who knows what his future is going to be there in Memphis. But really good effort from the Grizz tonight. All right, Jamal's first free throw is up and good. And getting ready for the second free throw here. Second free throw for Jamal is up and good. All right, so we got a 6-point game, 4.9 seconds to go. Memphis call. Why are they calling a timeout? I don't understand this. Okay, so timeout for the Grizzlies, 6-point game. This thing is all but over, and the Nuggets will improve to 35-20 on the season heading into the All-Star break. So, look, after this game, the Nuggets are going to have 26 games to go, okay, after the All-Star break. They're going to have 35 wins. Can they go – if they go 16-10, that'll put them at 51 wins. They'd be 52 wins, 52-30. So, I don't know where that places them in the West at the end of the season. So is 16-10 a good number to shoot for, or are we trying to go 18-8, something like that? 20-6. The Nuggets schedule does get pretty tough here after the All-Star break. I mean, they've only played Oklahoma City once so far this year. So let's take a look here at the Nuggets schedule post All-Star break. They'll open the post All-Star break in LA against the Clippers. Then they go to Portland, not an easy game. Then they go to Golden State. So they're going to start with a 3-game road trip. Then they come back home for 1 game against Boston. Then they go back out on the road to play OKC. Then they come back home to play Minnesota. Then they go back out on the road again to play the Utah Jazz. So not an easy schedule, as there's the buzzer. The Nuggets win 122-116 is your final. They head into the All-Star break on a positive note. They're 35-20 on the season, and they're in sole third place in the Western Conference, as if you missed it, Houston lost earlier tonight. So good win for the Nuggets tonight. Made it a lot closer than it should have been. But hey, they get the win. This team desperately needs a break. I mean, this team has a propensity to turn it over quite often, but it almost felt like tonight was even more so. It just looks like a team that desperately needs a week off of basketball. So, I mean, obviously Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray will be playing in the All-Star game. They did a little hit piece with Joker and Jamal before the game, and Jamal, I'm actually kind of excited to watch this All-Star game, if I'm being honest with you. I'm very anti-All-Star game because it's not real basketball. Really, any All-Star game. The Pro Bowl in the NFL, I've watched less than 2 minutes of probably total in my life. The NHL All-Star Game's a joke. So is the NBA All-Star Game. Major League Baseball All-Star Game's probably the closest thing to a real sporting event, but it's still just not real baseball. You know what? Scott's interviewing Nikola Jokic here on the floor. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this real quick before I get into my All-Star breakdown. Here is Scott Hastings with Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic with Scotty after the Nuggets get the win over the Grizzlies. 122-116 is your final. So just to finish up my thought there on this All-Star game, we were talking about this on Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC today, and the guys said it, and they're so right. Like this is this is the closest it will ever be to the NBA getting an actual basketball game at the All-Star game. So they were talking to Jamal Murray before the game, and he's like, "Look, I'm going to play hard," and I believe Jamal. Like, he's going to play hard in that game. And so I'm anti All-Star games because it's not real sports. It's not. It's nobody's trying. That's why I loved the Four Nations face-off so much last year in the NHL, because it was real hockey. I mean, those guys were playing all out. That's why I love the Olympic hockey tournament, because it's real hockey, and these guys are going all out. So, look, the USA versus world concept is probably the closest they're going to be able to get to it being a competitive basketball game. So I'm more intrigued to watch it now. If it was just the regular All-Star game, I'm not watching that crap. I mean, that is just a disaster. And look, good on the NBA for recognizing that, because the All-Star game has become a joke. I mean, it's a pathetic display of basketball. It's not even a basketball game. It's basically a pickup game with NBA superstars. So look, if they can't get guys to play hard in this tournament or in this All-Star game with the format they've set up, then it's just never going to happen. And I commend the NBA for trying this, because everything else they've tried has been a disaster. So I'm looking forward to it. Really good 7-day break here for the Nuggets. Besides Joker and Jamal Murray, they'll still get some rest in. And Adelman said it on our show yesterday. We had him on. The guys broadcasted down at Ball Arena for the Nuggets annual Special Olympics event that they put on, which is just fantastic. And we had Adelman and Christian Brown sit down with us. It was good to hear from CB. He talked about his ankle. His ankle injury was more serious than he had thought. So he kind of gave us some insight into that. That was really cool to hear. If you want to hear that interview, you can go to our podcast on Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts, really, and hear that interview with Christian Brown. It was really, really good. So yeah, the Nuggets really need this break. I would expect them to come out recharged, re-energized as the unofficial second half of the season gets underway, starting next Thursday for the Nuggets. That game will be in Los Angeles against the LA Clippers. And then, yeah, like I said, this schedule post All-Star break for the Nuggets is not easy. I mean, they've got the Clippers, the Trailblazers, the Warriors, the Celtics, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves as their first 6 games out of the All-Star break. And again, every team in the NBA has difficult travel schedules at various points throughout the season, but I don't ever remember a Nuggets season and where they had as wacky of a travel schedule as they do this year. And I'm not trying to make excuses for these guys. Like I said, every team has certain portions of their schedule that each team complains about and hates, but it just seems like the NBA has really just screwed over the Nuggets as far as their travel goes. I mean, like I said, so they start out this post All-Star break 26-game schedule with 3 games on the road. Then they come back home to play the Boston Celtics. Then they have to go back out on the road to play Oklahoma City. Then they come back home for 1 game against the Timberwolves. And then they're back out on the road against the Utah Jazz. And then they're back home against the Lakers and the Knicks. And then they're back out on the road against the Thunder. So a lot of one-stop games at home, and then they're back out on the road. So, yeah, just the travel schedule is absolutely crazy. A lot of national TV games for the Nuggets coming up here towards the end of the season. They have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 national TV games remaining on the schedule. So 12 out of half of their games, essentially, a little less than half, are going to be national TV games. Obviously, Altitude will be carrying some of those, but yeah, that's a lot of national TV games for the Nuggets and a tough schedule. So look, if the Nuggets are going to stay in the 3 seed or even try to jockey for the 2 seed, they're not going to catch Oklahoma City. I just don't see that happening. But if they're going to try to jockey for the 2 seed, which is still in reach, by the way, they're going to have to get healthy, and they're going to have to clean up a lot of little things. And specifically with this team, the turnovers are just the biggest Achilles heel on this team right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The Nuggets had 15 turnovers tonight. The Grizzlies had 6. I mean, that's why this game was so close. And by the way, the Grizzlies, how many points did they get? They gave up, so they had 15 turnovers. They conceded 22 points off of those 15 turnovers. The Nuggets scored 4 points off of 6 Memphis turnovers. 22-4 in points off of turnovers. And this was a 6-point win for the Nuggets. If you limit the turnovers tonight, this game's not even close. I mean, this is a blowout. So that's the biggest issue going on for the Nuggets right now. But look, they got to win. This team is gassed. They need this break desperately. I don't know if there's another team in the NBA that needs this break more than the Denver Nuggets do right now. But Joker gets another triple-double. He did have 9 turnovers tonight. Not great. He had 11 assists, but 9 turnovers. So he was only +2 in the assist-to-turnover ratio. When you have 11 assists and you're a +2 in the assist-to-turnover ratio, that's not great. Jamal had 2 turnovers. Christian had 2 turnovers. And Jonas Valanciunas had 1. So, yeah. I mean, Joker had 9 of their 15 turnovers. Again, that's, I'm not trying to be too critical on Nikola Jokic here, but I've always said I feel like the one area it's fair to criticize Nikola Jokic is he turns the ball over too much. And we saw that tonight. And, is he still shaking off some of the rust from missing 15 straight games? I don't know, maybe. So I'll try to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt in that regard, but he's got to get better at taking care of the basketball, does Nikola Jokic. So other than that, nothing else to complain about with Nikola Jokic. I mean, nothing. That's my only area that I have to complain about Nikola Jokic is he just turns the ball over way too much. So we'll see if they can get those little things cleaned up over the break here and get rolling. Hey, and I got to give credit where credit's due. I've been very critical of Bruce Brown. Thought he was awful against the Cavaliers a couple of nights ago, but I thought he had a really nice bounce back game tonight. He had 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers. He was a +4. So really good bounce back game from Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown is a guy that, and I said this the other night when they lost to the Cavaliers, if they want to make a serious run in the West and really challenge the Thunder to get out of the West, that Bruce Brown has got to play better. Period. End of story. Just has to. If Bruce Brown plays like he has been for the majority of this season, it is going to make things really difficult for the Nuggets in the playoffs to win 4 consecutive series. It just is. And you go back to the 2023 championship season, and Bruce Brown was one of the main reasons the Nuggets were able to win that championship outside of the big dogs, obviously Jamal, Joker, and AG. But Bruce Brown was the key guy off the bench for Michael Malone when he was the head coach here. So good bounce back game from Bruce Brown tonight. It was good to see that. I really liked seeing Bruce Brown. He hasn't lost his confidence. And I think I mentioned that on Monday. That is the one really big positive that I've seen from Bruce Brown, because I'm sure he would tell you that he's not playing up to his standards either. I'm sure he's not happy with how he's been playing this year either. But I will say it does not look like he has lost 1 ounce of confidence. So he's a vet, he's been there, done that before. And he's not letting this bad season kind of get to him. And I thought he looked really good tonight. So that was excellent to see from Brucey B. Shout out to Jonas Valanciunas too. It was an interesting start to the second quarter. So Joker actually played the entire first quarter and the entire third quarter. So Adelman's starting to kind of get him back into his normal rotation. He obviously isn't playing as many minutes as he normally would. He played 34 minutes tonight, so he's really just a couple of minutes off. But now we saw Joker get taken out by Adelman about midway through the first quarter. Over the last couple of games, he's been back, and same thing in the third. Well, tonight he played the entire first quarter and the entire third quarter, which is typically what Adelman will. That's how he'll run Joker and rotate him in and out of the lineup. And then I thought in that second quarter, when Joker went out, I thought Jonas Valanciunas was fantastic in that second quarter. I mean, really, really good. He is such a load in the low post. He's so difficult to handle. He was playing bully ball with pretty much everybody on the Grizzlies in the painted area. That was great to see. And it was a really interesting lineup from Adelman to start that second quarter. It was Jonas Valanciunas, Cam Johnson, Christian Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jalen Pickett. I mean, that was the second unit lineup. So no staggering of Jamal or Nikola Jokic. I guess they technically staggered, 2 starters in Cam Johnson and Christian Brown. But I thought that unit played pretty well. And I would not be surprised to see Adelman trot that second unit out more often. They went on a 12-0 run. They kind of ended their stint a little poorly. But I thought overall that second unit in the second quarter was really, really good. Really good minutes there for Jonas Valanciunas. The last couple of minutes of the second quarter was awful. It was just mired in turnovers. And the Grizzlies actually ended up cutting the Nuggets lead down to 6. So it was 60-54 at halftime. Just a really bad finish to that second quarter. And again, at that point in the game, the Nuggets had so many turnovers for 12 Grizzlies points. The Grizzlies at that point, at halftime, the Grizzlies had 1 turnover. The Nuggets had 0 points off of turnovers, and the Grizzlies had 12. So it was 12-0 points off turnovers at halftime in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. So again, these are things the Nuggets have to get cleaned up if they want to be serious about winning a championship this year. And we'll see if they can do it. My confidence level, I'm not going to lie to you, is not super high because this has been an issue, not just this season. I mean, the Nuggets have had a propensity to turn the ball over way too much over the last couple of seasons. So this isn't a just this season issue. This has kind of been their Achilles heel for a couple of seasons now. So my confidence level that they're going to be able to turn this around is pretty low right now. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Okay. Real quick, I do want to play you this bit of audio here, and shout out to the DNVR Nuggets folks who grabbed this before the game. So Adelman was asked about, we had Adelman on our show yesterday. Okay. And you know what? Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I want to play the Adelman from our show yesterday first, because Tyler asked him about the contract negotiations going on with Spencer Jones and the organization and how that is going. And Adelman was pretty positive in regards to that for the most part. The concussion stuff is like somehow playing into this. That's the part I want to get to. But so first, here's Adelman on our show yesterday, live at Ball Arena, being asked by Tyler about the Spencer Jones contract situation. Let's hear from the head coach.
Did you get Spencer Jones done?
That's still in the process. His representation's talking to our front office. Both sides are trying to do what's right. One for the team, and Spence has to look out for himself. So that'll be a process. I'm trying to stay up to date with it. But obviously, Spencer's a really important part of our team. Could have used him last night, obviously.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Sports is a business at some point.
Working it.
Yeah, exactly right. So I'm hoping it gets done, by the game time tomorrow. If not, we'll go through the All-Star break and we'll do our best to do something that's fair for both sides.
Okay, so there was Adelman on our show yesterday. He wanted to he was hoping they could get something done before the Grizzlies game tonight. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now, here is Adelman from the pregame show, again, talking about the contract situation with Spencer Jones. And this is, I'm trying to piece together. Okay, so it's being slow played because of the concussion. That's what I don't understand. Like, are they just trying to get Christian Brown healthy, or are they trying to not have him go through a negotiation with the team while he's trying to recover from his concussion? Or are they like, hey, we're not so sure about if we want to keep him on the roster this year because of his concussion? So a little bit of a confusing answer there from Adelman. That gives me a little bit of pause there, because yesterday, like I said, on our show, Adelman said, it sounds like we're going to get this done. And if we're trying to get it done before the Grizzlies game, obviously that didn't happen, and they'll work added over the All-Star break. But then we get to what he just said there before tonight's game in regards to Spencer Jones, and it was just kind of a confusing answer there from Adelman. And I'm not trying to throw David under the bus by any means, but it was just it feels like a little bit of mixed messaging from it just feels like a little bit of mixed messaging there from Adelman. And look, I don't know how involved Adelman is in these negotiations. He said he's trying to keep himself as up to date as possible. But look, I mean, Adelman's not the one negotiating with Spencer Jones and his representatives. That's obviously the Nuggets front office. But, Adelman is clearly in on what these conversations are going like. So interesting stuff there from Adelman. Look, I will just say this. They need to get Spencer Jones done, period. This guy has been way too valuable to this team this year. And his defensive presence, his ability to knock down those corner threes has been a massive asset for the Nuggets this year, and they can't afford to not have him down the stretch, especially with all of the injury concerns. I mean, who knows how long Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon are going to be out for, And look, I get it. He's recovering from a concussion right now, and you heard Adelman just say it right there. It's clearly a real thing that he's dealing with. So obviously you hope for a speedy recovery from Spencer Jones. Who knows? Maybe they get the contract done over the All-Star break. He's healthy and ready to go for the 26 remaining games post All-Star break. But I'm telling you, they need Spencer Jones in this lineup this season, especially with so many question marks in regards to the health of so many of the guys on this team. I mean, do you trust Aaron Gordon can stay healthy for a hopeful, 4 rounds in the playoffs? Do you trust that Christian Brown can stay healthy for a hopeful 4-round playoff battle? Like Peyton Watson. I mean, these hamstrings scare the crap out of me. And I said that last season when AG hurt his hamstring in the OKC playoff series. I said it earlier this year in late November when he hurt his hamstring against the Rockets in Houston. And I said it again when he hurt his hamstring a week or two ago. These hamstrings are just tricky beasts to deal with, these soft tissue injuries. So, look, they've got to get Spencer Jones signed to the big club, and they have the roster space to do it. Now, the only other question I guess I would have is, are they kind of slow playing this also to see what the buyout market looks like? That could be another reason as to why the Nuggets could be possibly slow playing the contract negotiations between Spencer's representatives and the front office. Now, look, if that's the case, if it's the case that they're slow playing this to try to wait and see what the buyout market's going to look like, okay, that's a pretty reasonable position to hold if you're the Nuggets front office, right? And Adelman said on our show yesterday, the crazy thing about the buyout market is, the guys have to get bought out first. And typically, that's not going to happen until during or after the All-Star break. So it's kind of a wait and see game right now for the Nuggets as far as who's going to be available on the buyout market. And look, if they can get an upgrade over Spencer Jones on the buyout market, I'm all for that. But that's a risky game to play. And I think the Nuggets like what they have in Spencer Jones. I've loved what I've seen from him so far this season for a guy that's on a 2-way contract. I mean, my God, is that guy outplaying his 2-way contract? He's been stellar for the Nuggets in the role that he's in. Okay. I mean, he's been great. He's a great defender. Like I said, he's a high energy guy, plays his ass off, can hit those corner threes at above 40% clip, which is fantastic. And, that's where Peyton Watson's been so good this year too. Those corner threes, I think he's shooting over 50%, but he's hurt right now. So they need another guy like a Spencer Jones that can either start or come off the bench and sink into those corners and hit those threes and play really good defense and bring a lot of energy to the game. So it's just a very interesting situation right now between the Nuggets and Spencer Jones, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, last piece of sound I want to play here for everybody. Now, this is fascinating, okay? So this is Bill Simmons speaking with Nick Wright. We're not really going to listen to Nick Wright because I just wanted to play you what Bill has to say. And anyway, who cares what Nick Wright has to say anyways? But I love Bill Simmons, and I respect the hell out of Bill Simmons. This is something that I've talked about before, and I find very interesting. Bill is calling out NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, and he's wondering if Adam Silver is the right guy to run the NBA. And he's going to give you some reasons as to why he has started questioning Adam Silver's leadership as the head of the NBA. So let's take a listen here to Bill Simmons.
Don't give a shit. Why would they do this? Like,
So
to me, there's like huge fundamental issues with the league that they're just yada-yadaing and pointing to all the media money they've made and the fact that their players are famous and that everybody loves the playoffs. It's like the regular season has real issues. It's too long. Guys are getting hurt too much. Everybody is making so much money. The only reason to have 82 games is because you make money from it. You go down to 70, you make less money. Guess what? Devin Booker, instead of making $75 million in 2028, he'll make 73. He'll be fine. All this shit, everything they're doing, they're not serving the larger picture of what do fans want? How do we keep our players healthy? How do we have a competitive season from start to finish? How do we avoid over 1/4 of our league not giving a shit for the last 2 months?
Yes.
How do we fix this? And it's the first time I've really wondered, like, do we have the right guy running the league? Because he doesn't seem interested in actually fixing real problems that everybody can see. And it's not about like, look at the NBA Cup. Oh, we created this thing. It's like, your schedule's too long. You have to fix this. It's too long. It should be 70 games.
Thank you, Bill Simmons. That was fantastic. I saw that tonight, and I couldn't agree more with Bill Simmons there. I mean, he is so right on that. And, is the NBA season too long? Absolutely. Okay. 82 games is way too much. I agree with Bill there. Go to 70. And, everybody's response to that, which is a fair response, is it's never going to happen because that's more money in the owner's pockets, which I totally understand. But Bill's point there is, well, just pay your players a little bit less. Does Devin Booker really need to be paid $75 million a season? It can't be 73. I mean, Nikola Jokic is going to get over 70 a year in his next contract. Now, don't get me wrong. He's worth every penny. But how competitive and exciting does Adam Silver want the league to be for the entirety of the regular season? He's so dead on about that. The regular season has become watered down. And again, he's right about a quarter of the league doesn't give a crap the last month or two of the season. I mean, there are so many teams right now that are basically out of the playoff picture. I mean, maybe not technically out yet, not completely nobody's technically eliminated from the playoffs yet. But the Washington Wizards are 14-39. The Pacers are 15-40. The Kings are 12-44. The Pelicans are 15-41. Those teams and those markets do not care at this point. Okay, their seasons are over, and the season's too long. It just is. 82 games is way too much. The NHL's going to 84 games starting next season. They're at 82 right now. They're adding games. Now, the NHL I can understand a little bit more because the NHL makes most of their money through ticket sales and merch and all that stuff, like actual fan attendance at games. Their TV contracts are tiny compared to the NBA and the NFL's. I mean, the NBA's new TV deal is absurd. So they're making plenty of money. And his point was a lot of guys injured this year in the NBA. I mean, it seemed, and not just on the Nuggets. The Grizzlies have like 296 total games of games missed due to injury just this year. The Nuggets are not far behind them. Why is the NFL so popular? I know what the answer is, but ask yourself that question. Why is the NFL so damn popular? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First off, people like violence. That's just the truth. And there's a lot of violence in the NFL. There's a lot of violence in hockey too. And I think that's why a lot of fans love hockey. But the reason the NFL is the number one reason, in my opinion, the NFL is so freaking popular is because every game is appointment television. Every game. I mean, how often do you get together with your family to watch a Broncos game or whatever your favorite NFL team is? I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. I get together with my family fairly often to watch a Broncos game. I'm not getting together with my family all that often to watch a Nuggets or an Avs game. Maybe in the playoffs, but not in the regular season. And look, the NBA is never going to go to, that few of games to where it's going to be appointment television. That's not going to happen. But the amount of back-to-backs these guys have, the amount of injuries we've seen this season, the Jamal Murray is running on fumes right now. It takes away from the quality of the game. And I think fans deserve better than that. So I'm all for what Bill said there. I mean, I couldn't agree with him more, It's just crazy, the schedule that these guys have. And, the NHL is a little bit smarter in their scheduling. They start their season 2.5 to 3 weeks before the NBA starts. They finish basically at the same time. So they play the same amount of games, but the NBA compacts those 82 games into a much smaller window. And that's why we see all these back-to-backs. Now, this year's a little bit different in the NHL because they're taking 3 weeks off for the Olympics. But typically, the NBA and NHL regular seasons end right around the same time. I mean, almost the same day a lot of the times. Maybe it's just a couple days off here and there. So it's I think this is a big issue for the league. And I question how much Adam Silver has the fans' interests in mind when making decisions. I really do. So, I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Look, and I'm not trying to shit all over the NBA. I love the NBA. But I do think they have some issues right now in the league that they need to get better at. And I think the way they do their schedule, it's way too compacted into way too tight of a window. And, a lot of people say, well, look, the players want more off time in the off season. Really, like you can't extend the regular season by 10 days. I mean, you got LeBron James bitching about the schedule every single year. Well, LeBron, how about you guys just extend the regular season by 10 days? 10 days out of your summer vacation is not that big of a deal, man. It's really not. You want to stop bitching about the schedule? You want the schedule to improve? You want less back-to-backs? Extend the regular season. It's too compacted. It's that simple. So, this is this is going to be a probably like the chances of this happening going to a 70-game schedule, I would put it less than 2%, to be honest with you. I don't think the owners would ever go for it. But again, to Bill's point, if the owners are worried about the money in their pocket, which is totally valid. I mean, I understand that. Stop paying Devin Booker $75 million a year. Pay him 70. He'll be just fine. Don't pay Nikola Jokic 75, pay him 70. I mean, these contracts are getting insane in the NBA. Insane. Nikola Jokic is going to probably make, on his next contract, $75 million for 6 months of work. And look, like I said earlier, he deserves every penny, okay? Don't get me wrong. He absolutely deserves every penny of that. But, man, I mean, it's just like I would put it more likely that the NBA is going to add games than take them away. I mean, seriously, like way more likely to add games. So there's kind of my my bitching fest on some of my issues with how the league is operating right now. All right, before we get out of here, let's go ahead and listen to Michael Malone. I need the All-Star break too. From David Adelman, head coach of the Nuggets. D-Mac just posted his post-game presser comments. Let's go ahead and hear from the head coach of the Denver Nuggets. Okay, there is the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, David Adelman. Some good stuff there from coach saying, they need a break from basketball. They need a break from each other. They need a break from me talking about himself. yeah, like I said, I've been mentioning that for, honestly, a couple weeks now. This team, they desperately need a break, and I hope that we see a rejuvenated, refreshed Nuggets team when they come back because they're just gassed. It was kind of interesting hearing him say that Joker needs a break because he did miss 15 games. I mean, he was out for a month. So kind of interesting there. Look, I get it. I mean, he's still working hard he worked hard to get back. So I get that. And really interesting, good stuff there on Christian Brown. Yeah, I agree with Coach. He was excellent tonight. Guarded all five positions. You forget when Christian is healthy, he really is an excellent defender. And I thought he was pretty bad defensively Tuesday night, excuse me. No, it was Monday night against the Cavs, but really good bounce back game from him tonight on both ends. Boy, does Christian look much, much better than when he tried to come back the first time from his ankle injury. He looks like he's got his explosiveness back, and you just kind of forget how good of a player Christian Brown is when he is healthy and rolling. So that was awesome to see from CB. All right, let's get to some of your comments here before we get out of here. Lots of comments tonight. I appreciate y'all listening. People are mad that I've been critical of the Nuggets, but look, like I said, I'm always just going to speak my mind on this team, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with media members is when they try to be cheerleaders for the team. I mean, we're all fans at the end of the day, but like I try to view this team as through as honest of a lens as I can. So, there's a lot to be proud of this year with this team, and there's a lot to criticize. So, all right, here's my guy Rico Suave. Let's go. Shouldn't have been this close, but a win is a win. Yeah, for sure. I mean that the end of the second quarter and really that entire fourth quarter was just sloppy basketball, really sloppy. And I hopefully that's just a sign of a team that is in need of a break. My guy Star Child here, great win and a great way to go into the break. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Marion, appreciate you listening. 3 seed equals good. The way we play equals depressing. It's been such a weird season for the Nuggets. It really has been because of all of the injuries they've dealt with. Guys in and out of the lineup. You heard Adam in there. It's like it's basically a new team every other game, it feels like. But they're in the 3 seed in the Western Conference. I mean, like, the West is so competitive this year, and it's been so tight all season long. And the fact that the Nuggets, with all of the injuries they've been through, it's their best player in the world. The best player in the world missed 15 games in a row, and they stay in the 3 seed heading into the All-Star break. Now, they're just 3 games back of San Antonio. They can catch San Antonio. Boy, did you see the beatdown the Spurs put on the Lakers the other night? I mean, my God. Victor Wembanyama went for 40. They just beat the snot out of the Lakers, who have lost 2 in a row, and they're now 32-21. The Lakers are in the 6th seed in the West. But, I mean, this is how tight the Western Conference is this year. The Nuggets are only 2 games ahead of the Lakers in the 6th seed. They're 3 games up on Phoenix in the 7th seed. So, you have a bad stretch in the Western Conference. You have a bad 2-week stretch. You could fall 4 or 5 seeds just like that. I mean, very easily. So the fact that the Nuggets have been able to stay in the 3 seed for what seems like the last couple of months has just been, it's been a miracle. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Here's a good question. When is the makeup game? Yes, that the makeup game between the Grizzlies, if you remember, that game was postponed because of that winter snowstorm that hit basically half the country a couple of weeks ago. It's in March. I'll get you the exact date here. It's now a back-to-back in March. So the Nuggets do get the break earlier in the season when they had to postpone that game in Memphis. That game is slated for March 18th. So they're going to have a game at home against Philly Tuesday, March 17th, and then they're going to have to travel to Memphis to play the Grizzlies on Wednesday, March 18th. So that is the date for the makeup game that was postponed due to weather there for the Memphis Grizzlies. Any more of your comments are welcome. How did you feel? How do you feel about the season so far, Nuggets fans? Like, what grade would you give this team as we head into the All-Star break? I would give them, I want to say either a B or a B plus. With the fact that they've been able to stay in the 3 seed, like I said, with all of the injuries they've had, might push it up to a B plus. Now, they've had some rough stretches, no doubt about that. And really over the last couple of weeks, they haven't been playing their best basketball. In fact, they're still under 500. I believe they're 3-4 now in Joker's 7 games back. They were 10-6 without him. That's not me saying they're better without Nikola Jokic, okay? Don't get it twisted. But they need to really start to pick it up as we go down the stretch here for the season. So I'll give them a B plus so far on the season. Just the fact that they've been able to stay in the 3 seed with so many injuries has just been absolutely incredible. Let's see here. I'm just curious your thoughts on 4 rounds. What about the finals? That includes the finals. 4 rounds would include the NBA finals. So you got to win 4 rounds to win the championship. So I got you. That's all the rounds it would take to win a championship. 82 games is not too long. I disagree. It's too long. I'm a person that thinks that Major League Baseball should be 100 games. I know that's very unpopular with baseball purists, but I think the Major League Baseball season is way too long. Again, it's never going to change. I know it's not going to change, but the MLB, talk about too long of a season. I mean, my God, 162 games in Major League. They can take out 62 of those games, and I would be just fine with that. Here's a good one. Can you explain how we went from the lowest turnover rate team in the NBA with Murray running the offense and a better defensive rating and 7-0 in the clutch without Jokic? That's a really good question. To be honest with you, I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know. The turnover stuff has been plaguing this team for a couple years, so I would have to look at their numbers from probably like the championship season. But I will say the clutch time record this year has been awful. You're absolutely right about that. And I would point to their defense isn't as good. They were a top 10 defense as far as defensive rating goes in 2023, the year they won the NBA championship, where they were outstanding. They were the best clutch team in the league with, it's a couple possession game with less than 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And they just had a knack for winning all of those games. But I would say the defense is a big culprit in that. They just haven't been able to close teams out defensively. They've gotten way too laxed in fourth quarters this year. I mean, look at tonight's game. Memphis outscored the Nuggets 35-29. They have had way too many fourth quarters this year where they just seem to run out of gas. I mean, I know that's kind of a simple answer, but I really do feel like that's kind of the main problem as to why the Nuggets have struggled so much in clutch game situations, whereas they've been so good over the last couple seasons in those scenarios, in those situations. But this year, they just, for whatever reason, have not seemed to be able to play defense very well in the fourth quarter. All right, let's see here. Star Child, no, if the NBA shortens the season, that will make the playoffs longer. No, it wouldn't. Why would that make the playoffs longer? It would still be 4 7-round series. Playoffs would stay the same. It would stay absolutely the same. So I don't get that one. You're gonna have to explain that one to me a little bit there. So, all right, everybody, really appreciate you listening. We'll be off for a week. I'll be back with you next Thursday for Nuggets and Clippers reaction. Have a good week off with hardly any sports going on other than the Winter Olympics. Excited to watch some hockey. It's one of my favorite sporting events in the world. Is best on best Olympics hockey. So really excited to see that, and excited to check out the All-Star game this year, which is shocking to me because if you listen to the show, you know how anti-All-Star game I typically am. But I think that this is the best chance the NBA has to making the All-Star game competitive and hopefully somewhat interesting this year. Really appreciate y'all listening. We'll be back for the final stretch coming up next Thursday. 26 games to go. We're out of the dog days of the season. The dog days of the NBA season are over. We're into the fun time of the year. Starting next Thursday begins the stretch run towards the playoffs for your Denver Nuggets, and I can't wait. That's going to do it for the postgame show, everybody. I'm Dan Tanner. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next Thursday to react to Nuggets and Clippers We'll see you then.